hands. I just had to mention that. Let's go back to the gameplay now. Let's go back to Game 3, Hanwha Life, blue side advantage.
Atlas wearing a white shirt. It's kind of like Cloud.
Yeah?
You know?
That's true. We haven't gotten that soul yet, but...
He's trying his best.
Once again, Faker's Azir banned away. And it's going to be the target bans onto Peanut. You have to imagine Maokai comes out first. Let's see if any other adaptations come through here. As, yes, Faker did get POG, and it was not as clear-cut, I think, as the voting showed. I think it was definitely a case of vote the GOAT if you're not sure, because it was really hard to actually choose. But I think Hanwha Life will probably be happy to trade ADs here in this game. Faker has shied away from it. That's how they won EWC. And the Rumble ban, that's a good adaptation from T1. This time on red side, not going to allow Doran to control that matchup.
Yeah, maybe they leave the Ivern up then.
Yeah.
It's either Ivern or Vi, and they banned both of those in both games 1 and 2.
I do think that, given how Peanut is playing, maybe just don't play the Ivern because his smites have been so good and his control of the objectives have been so good. I'd rather see them ban the Vi, to be honest with you, Valdez, as that would leave the Tristana here to Zeka, if that's going to be the case. But if you ban the Tristana, now they end up getting Vi, and they can go Vi Talia, for example. A lot of other strong mid lane picks that Zeka can pick up. So this is a very tough call for T1 here on the red side, what they ban.
Tristana.
I kind of vote in Vi.
Ban it away.
But both of them are so strong, and they're just going to ban Ivern.
Ivern, okay.
Hope to trade it. But now you can, if you're confident to play Talia into Tristana, you can lock the Vi here for Peanut. Sejuani actually going to be prioritized here instead. And even with Ashe banned, that is a little bit puzzling. We know how much Zeka loves his melee mids. I don't know if that's going to come through, but it could.
You play Yone. I mean, it depends on what Faker is going to select. If he just says, okay, give me the Tristana. Right now,
they could go. They could go Vi Tristana or Vi Talia themselves, but nope, going to be the Tristana. And we'll see what comes with this, as the Vi is still very powerful in a draft like this. But when they look for an AP jungle for Oner, the Nidalee is available this time.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the other Poppy player during that era where you were talking about Peanut dominating on Poppy was Oner. He was the other one who had an incredible win rate on this pick. And for him to say, it's my time now, and lock this one in, just feels poetic in this series.
Yeah, absolutely does. And we're going to see the opposite side of the matchup. We'll see if Oner can do just as well. Yeah, the Yone, I mean, it always feels like the next on the block, right, after Tristana, Azir, Corki, right? So it's good, and also you've got Sejuani, and it's Zeka, so why not? Also, they get Viper Ezreal again.
Now, this is very risky, though. We've seen a lot of Yones attempted into the Corki, into the Tristana. The laning phase is very difficult to pilot. Now, Zeka is one of the best Yones in our league, if not the best, and I mean, next to Chovy, of course. He doesn't even get to be in the conversation of if not, because...
Not Chovy tier, but yes. S+ tier.
But you're playing Yone into Poppy, so that's another issue that they're going to have to contend with, as this time they're going to push the Kai'Sa priority up and just duel Guma right into this Ezreal. Great matchup for the Kai'Sa, especially in isolation.
Yeah, it seems like they want the flexibility to pick just a normal top laner and not have to worry about maybe trying to grab AP either, because the Kai'Sa will eventually build some AP items and provide that to the team.
Yeah, that's another great call. We'll be able to contest the Ezreal poke later on too, with the Nashor's Tooth once she picks that one up. So Guma gonna have a lot of agency in this game and won't be fighting a losing poke battle like he did in Game 1 and parts of Game 2. Braum taken away here. The Leona banned by Hanwha Life Esports, so I'm trying to wonder what that pick is going to be for Delight in the bottom lane.
And perhaps an Alistar.
Could just be. The Renekton is taken away here, so even though GP cropped up yesterday, we're just not going to get to see that matchup again, it doesn't look like. The next ban here is a little bit trickier for the side of Hanwha Life. They could just ban the Gnar or the Cassante here.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Zeus just R4 and Cassante either. Although, could wait and see what Doran wants to play and then counterpick for that, but...
Yeah. The Alistar is going to be banned here away from Keria. Interesting. As it looks like they're going to save that counterpick for Zeus here, grab the Rakan in the bottom lane. A lot of great engage with Poppy, and it helps set up these team fights. You have the Rakan now, and we'll see what the choice is going to be. Blind here for Doran. I don't think this Yone is going top, as they want more engage. The Nautilus, great for locking down the Tristana, fairly mobile, and potentially locking down the Kai'Sa. Jax to come through does dissuade the potential TF.
Yeah, works with the Sejuani as well, but
yeah.
Definitely a very divey front line, and then you've got Ezreal. We'll see if they follow that up with the Rel. I mean, you've already banned Alistar, but no, it's Bard.
Okay. We'll see what they go with here in response, but damage profile as well for Hanwha Life is very AD focused. Ezreal has some mixed profile, obviously, but for the most part, this is going to be any pick that Zeus has that is extremely tanky, like Cassante, for example, is going to be very difficult to deal with. They also want magic damage, though. They're going to be taking the cannon into the Jax here, interestingly enough, as this draft got a little bit weird here at the end. But
it
now
always seems to as the games come along.
You have so many ways to control team fights as T1. You have Slicing Maelstrom, you have the Keeper's Verdict, you have even Buster Shot is another example of things you could do to control that zone, but more so it's the Kai'Sa poke and the Rakan flanks that you have to deal with here as Hanwha Life now.
Yeah.
Hanwha Life's comp is all, I'm going in, I'm diving, I'm going hard to engage, and the Ezreal is going to focus whoever gets caught, and he has some burst damage on this patch, but his damage is quite high in general.
Yeah.
He has good sustain, he has good poke, but I feel like if you're not on the objective first as Hanwha Life, if you're not in full control, you know, Viper can do his best to try to chip in and get that chip damage with his Mystic Shots as we saw in Game 1 to get back. But it is so hard if you're not in control from start to finish as HLE, as this is wild.
Oh boy. A for effort.
It says you can't, you better not ignore T1 because of, and this is the reason why. Gumayusi,
yeah.
Because they got Guma. And Guma in this game going to be playing the Kai'Sa. They've got that to control the poke war around objectives. I have to lean towards T1's draft in this final game, Valdez.
Yeah, I would agree. We'll see if, you know, Peanut can do something early with the Sejuani to really get those melee lanes ahead. Otherwise, might get pretty interesting in this one as we are just about ready to hop on to the Rift for game number 3 right now. All right, here we go. Game number 3, the decider between T1 and Hanwha Life Esports. Hanwha Life always makes these very, very fun. So shout out to them, because not a lot of teams can challenge T1 outside of Bro and Hanwha Life Esports. No, but jokes aside.
And I mean, BLG and Team Liquid.
Yeah, this is always a banger somehow. Always. Hanwha Life Esports and T1.
Yeah, no, I mean, it has been over the last 2 years. Very, very exciting to watch these two collide. It seems like something about Hanwha Life Esports when they play against T1, maybe it's the Peanut aspect in this roster. They really, really focus on this matchup. They prepare incredibly well. They overperform. And even though T1 has kind of been our perennial second place, or or at least top 2, they are constantly challenged by HLE.
Yeah. We did see Bin actually pick up the cannon over at EWC. I think that was into the Cassante, if I'm not...
I just remember Caps was playing LeBlanc. I don't remember the exact comp, to be honest. A lot of games there.
It just felt so good because it was into a lot of engage, and it had a good top matchup. And also, once they started winning, he just started flashing on the whole team and killing everybody.
Yeah, he got so big, he did so much damage.
Just kind of reminded you the power of Kennen and why it was such a big pick for so long and why we still see it occasionally in good matchups.
Electrocute got buffed, especially in the early levels over the last 2 patches, so Zeus is going to pick that rune up here as well as his keystone and will be annoying Doran here, and with the range advantage can just really put the pressure on if Doran wants to come up to this wave. He is going to take that electrocute proc, and it is going to be very frustrating to play into. You know, picking this over the TF I think is great considering the damage profile. Yes, there's going to be some AP damage on this Kai'Sa, no doubt, but still does give you that better mixed profile. Zeka is 3 of the 4 wins in this matchup.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Oner took those first couple of games personally, and he is going very deep to try to trade up against Peanut. And I think in the 1v1, maybe he would have won eventually, but in the 3v1, he will not win. And that is going to be first blood over to Hanwha Life Esports just like that.
Well, there's your Action Blast cone at least.
Yeah.
Got Zeka in there.
It's rare, but it does happen. I'll give Blast Cone that.
But that's going to be a lot of money on that Yone. It's not, you know, we're looking at Tristana matchup stats, but I don't know if this is Faker's fault in this case, or really Zeka's outplay just shows up because Oner was trying to get a little bit greedy and is now punished. Zeka will lose some farm for it, but I think he'll be happy to pick up that first blood plus 400. As you can just see, I mean, like you said, Oner wins this on the extended trade, can push Peanut into the wall, but it's almost like at this moment he realizes, like, I'm on the wrong side of the rift. And Doran is closer than Zeus, and Zeka is closer than Zeus, and I can't kill him fast enough.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't even pick up the buckler because he was so certain that he would be able to push Peanut away that he just ignored it and just beeline straight for where Peanut would try to escape to. And that works if you 100% will win and the laners won't come. But, yeah, definitely a little bit of a whoopsie there from Oner. Not much else to say about that one, as here's Oner now trying to make up for it. Will come in behind Zeka. And Faker now getting some damage in, but at the end of the day, this is Yone after all, and he will be able to get away. Now Peanut's going to find him again. And Oner, he does have flash. I think he's going to have to use it here. Tries to taxi on the chickens. There's the flash, and he does get away. But man, Peanut is just all over this guy.
Peanut is having a fantastic series. Tracks him down there, blocks his retreat, forces him to flash. And, you know, Permafrost Energy we sometimes talk about, you know, against the enemy laner. A little bit tougher to pull off against Tristana, but into the enemy jungler, you have to respect it. He's got to get out of there. Down here, Keria with a long wraparound, or sorry, excuse me, Delight with a long wraparound.
Yeah. Ooh, gonna stop the magical journey. It's a decent chunk into Delight. Makes sense that you would say Keria. I feel like Keria has played this more.
So much recently.
Yeah, very recently. A great success, and also I feel like he's played it more than anyone else in the LCK. Don't quote me on that, but that's just a feeling. And
it's more than a feeling, Valdez.
Also, Delight is generally the one who plays Rakan, so it's like very...
So everything in my brain just... when I saw the minimap, I was looking at the minimap when I said that I wasn't looking at the nameplates, and that's just how it worked in my brain. And
Delight was just playing Rakan in the last game on red side?
Yeah. Thanks for defending me, Valdez.
Yeah,
you know,
you're good, yeah.
We make a whoopsie, but...
Understandable.
He knows how my brain works, and he's going to tell everybody. And it's okay.
I have known Wolf's brain for, what, 12 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Zeus has level 6, and he still has Electrocute, and he's not too worried about this Jax here. Also, Doran's level 6 isn't going to be as impactful, so Doran needs to be very careful about taking too much damage here, but he's unfortunately, with the wave in a really rough spot, going to be losing a lot of farm, has to come up and use his health bar to get as many minions as he can. Peanut is up here on top of these grubs, so now feeling a little bit more comfortable at least. But yeah, you can see he's just going to hope to catch this wave here. Zeus won't be able to get the advantage, I think, early enough to collapse, especially with this mid-prio here for Zeka. So T1 want to contest, but very challenging.
Yeah, it's basically only Zeus who's able to get that done. Looks like T1 might be able to get one. Should be very helpful for Oner, who has fallen behind as Peanut does have Smite, but not looking to overcommit for just a third grub. But still, well, that's going to be the Poppy into Yone that we all love. The knockup does come in here, and the burst damage is huge on Zeka. Has to flash away, but he does get away alive, which I feel like is more than we could say for most Yones in that situation.
Yeah, definitely true. Looked pretty doomed for him. Did not want to flash, but has to ultimately use it there at the end. A bit opportunistic to try to come in there for the punish. Remember, Zeus also was there with flash and ult available, so very, very risky call there from Zeka, but did have the prio leading up until that moment. And, you know, maybe had a little bit of guilt that he wasn't able to come over there and help secure the third, but they get 2 for 3. So denying that Tristana, the 5 grubs, that big number that she's always looking for. Still going to be relevant in the side, but not as oppressive. Cast so much Tristana with these Void Grubs. I feel like I have to make that caster point every game, but I'm like, well, we have to say it because that's why they went for it.
Eventually, we'll just be soundboards, so get it in while you can.
Yeah, the AI casters are, if they have to cast this meta, it's going to be real easy for them.
Zeka is on Yone again. Yeah, it's trying to go for the big wraparound here is HLE Esports. Oner has been bullied quite a lot in this game, but he's been able to catch up. He's level 6. He's all right, but now the flash is going to come in. Maybe I immediately curse him, and yeah, the ult comes in from both of them. And Oner, once again, will be bullied in his own jungle.
Peanut just such a good game sense here. Comes in over the wall. They set up the permafrost stacks. Zeka has ult, and you're going to be able to fly through that Poppy. No problem as the Oner in that situation. Clean setup. Peanut, man, he's so good this series. And a lot of people were criticizing Peanut earlier this season. He wasn't having the impact that we've seen from him on Gen G or that we saw from him in spring. First few games were a little bit rocky. The D+ series, I think, was where he got a lot of the heat. And now looking at D+'s standings, you can see that actually D+ was quite a much stronger team now than they were in spring. And so maybe a little bit of the heat wasn't as warranted, but he is bouncing back in a huge way in this important series here.
He just, it's personal. Whenever he faces off against T1, he just cranks it up to another level. We've all said it. Even Atlas said it on the space.
Hooney's alluded to it. You know, has spent some time
Ox
on
was
T1.
there. He was probably thinking it.
Yeah.
I don't think he said it, but it's fine.
It's weird. Jisun didn't mention it, but you know.
Yeah. What's up with that? No, it just makes sense. I mean, this guy is just fantastic when it comes to this specific situation. We know he's capable and.
He has
capable of doing it here again.
No vision, but knows that Oner is here. Just goes over the wall, sets up the ult for Zeka.
He doesn't have flash either, importantly, so.
Exactly. Now, the Dragon did go over the T1 bottom side, so it was not all for naught. That top side aggression does mean that there's an equal and opposite take there for T1 cross map. Zeka thought he was trying to stop Faker's back. I guess he didn't know where Faker was backing necessarily, but won't end up getting anything there. It's Chemtech second, so Ox's shirt and, you know, the pants of Dagon over there are not cursing us to another Chemtech
Not even
soul.
Atlas's shirt can bring us the Cloud Soul.
Nope. So
we're in uncharted territory.
Well, if this series is, you know, if the way it's going, it might be Hextech again. We will see. It would be incredibly powerful for both these compositions with the Kaisa and the Ezreal here. And how sticky they are.
I think it's Yundo is saying that my jacket is blue, so it should be Hextech.
Yeah, your jacket's blue also.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh, I thought you were saying Yundo was saying his jacket was blue.
No, my jacket is blue.
Ah, okay.
And according to you, also my jacket is blue.
Yeah.
My
jacket is gray / white.
Yeah, double Hextech. We have had a lot of Hextech souls today. I think 2, which is a lot. And T1, now they want to make a play here for the Grubs. We'll see if they can get all 3. That would be very nice.
Zeus, you know, is relatively close by. It's really hard to push in here into the cannon as HLE.
Yeah.
And I think they're just going to simply give this up. The Ezreal attempt is nice, does a lot of damage, but they can't get in there. Zeka already resigned to pushing that wave into mid. And that is going to be the take there as Oner scared, flashes away. The Bard ultimate does come down, so wants to make sure he doesn't follow it up on, even though Zeka was pretty far away.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, T1, they get all the Grubs. They are still behind on gold. Just trying to see like where they are getting that lead. It's probably just the 2 kills going over to Zeka.
Zeka's kills.
Where they do have the majority of that lead, but you know, no turrets taken or anything like that. Farm is pretty much equal across the board, except for Zeus, who does have that lead.
Yeah, some plates taken on both bottom laners on the bottom side, down to 3 apiece. And 1 extra plate went over to Zeka, I believe, in the mid lane as well. But it's not a hugely, it's just 1,000 gold here.
So, trying to collapse on a Zeus here, but he is Kennen, and he's going to throw that up, and Doran already a ton of damage done to him as everybody's in here, but now the follow-up comes in from T1. Excellent ult from Zeka, just to try to disengage. And nobody dies.
I mean, Keria's ult fantastic there as well to make sure there's nothing that can come of this for HLE, and almost is able to trade, or not trade, but take a kill back there for T1 on the collapse. As it looked like, you know, it was a bait for Doran, but it was really a bigger and larger bait by T1 to try to set that one up. Fortunately for both sides, no one's going to end up getting a kill, but Zeus now down his flash on the side of Hanwha Life, and only Peanut down his. And Cannon without a flash, without a cannon, Rocket Belt is a little bit less strong in terms of engage as Faker.
Yeah, he was able to buffer that. And it does feel like, in general, the Tristana should enjoy playing into the Oner, but Zeka pretty fed, and eventually, once he gets a couple of items on board, especially even some of those stanky items that Oner generally builds, can just close the gap very strongly without Tristana able to do much, and can even threaten the kill. So
yeah,
see if Oner Zeka can do that in the future.
That's definitely where the real permafrost synergy has been this game. Fortunately, Doran playing into this cannon with Electrocute is really down on farm. He's down 27 CS at the moment, and he also, laning into the Tristana isn't going to have a good time. He's not going to have a good time into the cannon, so his side lane threat in this game is very limited. And if he has teleport advantage, maybe there's some things he can do potentially. As Delight is going to come up here and maybe look for something, though.
Yeah.
But no.
No stun, so not going to, once again, engage onto cannon. Generally a bad idea. We saw the trade pattern actually happen in mid, where Viper's like, I'm Ezreal, I'm going to hit my W, I'm going to punish this as I've been doing all series long, but Kai'Sa with upgraded Q, with evolved Q,
she wins those.
You go in and she presses Q. And she wins the trade.
Yeah, and so if you want to extend it, she presses R, she gets a shield, yeah, and you're done for.
So Viper's not going to have nearly as much pressure as he did onto some of the other picks, like the Caitlyn.
Yeah,
or I think it was the Zeri, right? Game 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Viper was on Ezreal game 1. It was Zeri, yeah, for Guma.
Yeah. ADC's playing it.
Right. So it's a dragon here. It's Infernal Soul to come through, so I don't know who's wearing red, but T1 fans in the audience definitely are, and it is going to be the very impactful soul for them with the 2-Drake lead. Doran, I don't think will be punished here by Keria. There's flash and ult.
Here comes Peanut, and he will just get away scot-free.
Okay, but that means that they end up hurting a turret, and Doran doesn't get engaged on, but it also doesn't really impact the game all too much, because that turret is just so difficult for Doran to take out, considering the cannon he is facing here. Just trying to get farm right now, and again, just the gap in CS widens. Now 40 CS the lead here for Zeus.
Yeah, well, at least Doran has 3 Infernal Cinders.
True.
So he's stacking those up.
True.
Delight also 3.
Yeah. All right. Don't read the Cinders anymore. That's
There's nothing else happening, Wolf. What do I do?
I mean, it's happening now maybe, but it's a cannon, so I don't know if it should be happening. And they're TPing. They really want it to happen on the cannon.
It's 4 of them. It should be enough, and they're even able to link a couple of stuns in. But now the Keeper's verdict, they're still not going to be able to save Zeus. But can they trade a kill back? I think they can. As Zeka is going to go down. Delight should be okay. Another re-engage here is going to get the flash out of Oner as Peanut wants to continue to go in there. There's the Tempered Fate. And a counter-strike. Oner just in a lot of trouble here as Keria can't peel forever. And Poppy actually just not dying, taking pretty much forever as we got a pillow fight in the top lane. And Keria, will they be able to kill him? The answer is no.
Here comes Faker. He got the turret. Now he's TPing in.
All right, now it's not a pillow fight. It's a gunfight. As here comes Faker. He is assassinating people, and they just went way too deep for this. It's 3 kills to T1 in the trade.
I mean, it's not even close to a fair trade here. I mean, T1 end up getting the turret bottom side. Faker picks up kills top, is about to cash out a call, so he's sitting on a ton of money. And this is just, I mean, the cannon part of this, that's not really the issue because they change CCM, but they use everything on this cannon that when the subsequent fight happens, it's really rough. And the isolation here onto the Yone means that there's just no way for Zeka to get out. And that means that a lot of their damage is gone here. It's a Jax. There's no Ezreal here whatsoever. So yeah, it's just a Poppy and a Rakan. but they can buy enough time. And Faker, look at the bottom lane. He's taken out that bottom side turret, and while this extended exchange happens, he's got so many different places to TP to. So, okay, we're winning this, right? Well, not anymore. And unfortunately for Hanwha Life, they spend a ton of resources here on this. At least Viper's gonna get some push in mid because Guma comes up here as well and commits his ultimate, but at the end of the day, I think this is a big trade up for T1.
They even TP'd to mid, so yeah, not much damage done there either.
I mean, it's a kill to a Kaisa, a kill to a Tristana, extra turret bottom, just a trade up all around. T1 actually get the gold lead off of that play.
Yeah, definitely a nice little swing in their favor. And they also got those first couple of Drakes, so we'll see if they can look for this Infernal Soul. We got it in about a minute and a half, but yeah, I feel like, you know, Doran, he got the one kill in the sequence, but it's going to take a long time until we see him doing much outside of just being a Counter-Strike bot.
I think he's just going to be a Counter-Strike bot, actually.
Oh.
I don't know if he's ever going to do... I don't know if he's ever really going to get to side lane this game, unless somehow, you know, Faker dies or there's a big teleport accident, right? I mean, right now he has TP advantage over both side laners.
Like,
so
if the fight gets messy, like maybe, you know, Jack's hopping around and getting multiple Counter-Strikes.
I mean, that's a Counter-Strike bot. Yeah, I'm saying that could definitely happen. I'm talking about side lane. I don't think he's really putting side lane pressure on this game, especially considering that the outers are already gone, and he's pushing into either a Tristana or a Cannon, currently the Tristana.
I wonder if ever, like, maybe 4 items in, could he just outlast the AP damage of the Cannon? Because, like, on hit, you know, or AD Cannon could potentially always win the trades as the game comes along, but I do wonder, like, 4 items in.
I think the problem is the stun and the movement speed of the Cannon that gets him away, that eventually, no matter what, the Cannon just kind of...
You just never get counter-struck.
Yeah, so you just never get... I mean, unless you have help, right? If Peanut comes up there. But that's kind of the big gaping hole in Hanwha's plan this game, is this Jax that wasn't played towards that much until that topside play, which ended up backfiring. It's been Zeka who was played towards by Peanut instead. They got an advantage for this Yone, but the Jax just really hasn't been able to push sides or really do much in team fights. We'll see what he does here, as you don't want to push into this choke against this Cannon who has flash and ult.
Yeah, it doesn't look like how LIP Sports want to do that, but T1 are going to take over control of Banana Brush as now Engage comes in, but that is a Jax as an ult sails wide. They're looking for the isolation on Azeka. He gets incredibly low, but also pushed over the wall. He does have TP, but I don't think he's getting out and back. Maybe with the Tempered Fate, though.
Yeah, gotta buy some time.
Oh, here's the engage from Keria, and they get the full-on wombo combo onto that front line, as Doran also gonna get pretty low. Here comes the TP from Zeka. They're still trying to fight this as Hanwha Life Esports, but I don't know. Peanut trying to get close to this one, and the smite is not going to work, and he's going to go down. T1. Now they've got a Kaisa on top of Zeka. Down he will go. That's a double kill for Guma, and they sprint towards the Baron.
Yeah, T1 really in control of this game. After that topside play, they had a lot of control, but even with Hanwha Life having the better group up there, having the prio on the Dragon, the engage just doesn't work out. They collapse onto Zeka, force him to back. I mean, this is one of those moments, I guess, where Jax is going to go, nope, actually.
Nope.
What was the side lane value in this game? About 2 autos. And then, you know, the exhaust for Delight isn't up. It's just coming up. He uses the Tempered Fate to actually buy time for Zeka to return so they don't have that to peel for the engage.
But then they just get engaged.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, once you buy this time and use the Tempered Fate, T1 are like, well, they don't got anything. So Zeka gets pushed out. Buster Shot, unfortunately for T1, actually helps him escape. But then it's going to take him a really long time to come back. So you see the Tempered Fate come out. But now they've got nothing. Keria's like, well, this is easy. Flash engage, Maelstrom combo, and there's nothing that Delight can do. His exhaust isn't up, and even if it were, he'd just be stunned anyways, charmed, and then stunned by the Cannon. And then the attempted steal here from Peanut. He's had a few good ones today, but unfortunately just a bridge too far in this situation. Now T1, I mean, poised to take this third game. They have so much control.
Engage here on Aguma. He's able to cleanse out of that one, but T1, we're pushed up pretty far here with the Baron buff, as now Peanut in a little bit of trouble as the Tempered Fate. We'll see if it works out. Zeka just going to be flashed away from as Keria gets in for the peel. And here we go, slicing Maelstrom once again, but this time the exhaust comes in, and Peanut's still going to go down, traded for the Cannon, as this is a wild fight now. Yone, Zeka, he finds the angle, he takes down the Rakan, Faker to follow, and they're going to stop the push immediately. T1 not respecting the engage from HLE Esports this time around.
Yeah, and the Tempered Fate actually really messes up T1's plan, and then Keria, I think, panicking, ults to try to defend during the interim, and then the ult comes through from Kennen, but the exhaust, as you mentioned, is there this time for Delight. He shuts down the Kennen, and then it's just kind of a front-to-back from there. Doran is always threatening on the flank there with Counter-Strike, and T1 can't push in further, and it's a really nice front-to-back, and this Baron feels like a wash now, had such control, but they end up getting caught and collapsed on that inner turret mid. We'll watch this again. So Peanut's on the flank here, right? Delight's on the other side. Ult's onto Guma first, so he's out of the fight. Straight up at the beginning of this. Then the Tempered Fate comes through, and then you see Keria, he's like, well, I gotta try to do something here, otherwise maybe they push on to Guma, but I don't know if that was the right call, as now his ultimate is down. That cannot be peeled. And then look at Doran keeping Oner out while Zeus is exhausted. And Guma is offering a decent amount of damage here, but nothing compared to Viper. And then Zeka, beautiful ultimate here, and that's the fight. No way out here for T1. Faker with the Unbind is ripped out of the map, and now Hanwha Life end up really turning what was a disastrous situation for them into only 1,000 gold, 1,500 gold, or 1,500 gold. The lead for T1.
1,599 gold.
No more Baron issue here. I mean, there's still a little bit of it left, but 15 seconds.
This time, nice dodge from Zeus. Going to get out of dodge. And Peanuts will have to wait for his next cooldown. But all things considered, Red Bull Baron power play is negative 300 gold. So HLE Esports still in the game. It might come down to this next dragon that is spawning in a minute and a half. Got to deny T1 from the Infernal Soul if you want to have a chance here as HLE Esports.
Definitely a really big win they're going to need to take. You know, they had that last fight with a really nice collapse. Peanut, saw him on the player cam there. You could feel the tension. It's that awkward Peanut laugh, which looks like he's having fun, but you know it's Peanut actually very stressed out. If you're watching Peanut for years, he's in the zone.
Another action blast cone?
Maybe.
Infernal Soul gift? Nope. They could have, though.
They could have.
But the Unbound Soul is going to mean that Zeka would get out of there safely.
I would have wasted Zeus' ult if you wanted to commit that there. Man, before this dragon, that's one of your key tools. You can see gold leads really across the board here outside of the jungle for T1. They're not insurmountable leads by any means, but when you add them all up, you consider all the different ways they can zone Hanwha Life out of this dragon. Still a really good game state for them, even though Hanwha were able to stem the bleeding with that great play to punish the inner attempt. So let's see how this fight's going to break out. Doran has TP, but is kind of cut off. Might actually have to look for a flank to get into this pit.
Peanut is he's been slowed quite a lot. Not taking too much damage. Oh, they find Zeus on the flank here as he throws out the Maelstrom, but he's in a lot of trouble. Has to flash the wall. And now the combo over the top. HLE Esports. They turn on the Peanut, though. He's getting pretty low. Has to flash away. In goes Doran looking for something more. Guma also has to flash the Tempered Fate. And Doran is not going to overcommit to this one.
And you have so much safety as Kennen, you think you can pull that off, but Hanwha Life just called the bluff and push on him super fast there. Not much counterplay, and this is looking great for HLE.
Yeah, we have a TP coming in here, but that Drake is gone. And so the TP is gone as well. Not able to fight over that one, and HLE Esports are clawing their way back into this game.
And I like how you say clawing, because this is just one step of many. It's the second in a row, the second big win here. As you can see, as the neutral fight is being contested, Doran knows that Kennen is flanking, calls this one out, and Delight and Zeka are ready to catch him. And yes, he has his ult for a little bit of self-heal here, but the rest of T1 aren't able to capitalize or punish. Look at this true shot from Viper. Not only takes out the Kennen, but puts Faker so low that he can't actually follow up and try to collapse onto Peanut. If he doesn't get hit by that, maybe he goes in, he gets a reset, then his fight is playable. They get the flashes with the Tempered Fate as well as the Dragon. And Faker's TP, the cherry on top for Hanwha Life, that being expended for no gain.
Delight about to face check a little bit here. Flash on in as even the support item not going to help him out there at all. We do have Baron in 13 seconds as well, so a chance now for T1 to wrestle back control of this game. And surely they will look to pressure this objective.
Zeus also has teleport and ult, and you know, this is where it gets really messy. He's going to TP to the top part of the river. Faker's also on this angle. Hanwha Life, this is so difficult to fight out. They're going to have to use Viper's poke. They may just go straight into this.
Might
don't
just
recommend.
be a straight up flip as well as the ult is going to be sent in. Keria trying to peel, but that's not really going to work as Oner. Zeka gets in again, gets the blow, but they will not get the Baron as the verdict gets used on a Peanut. He's pushed away, and T1 get away with the Baron.
You can see it looked like Viper was trying to maybe get a miracle steal, putting his W on the Baron, but T1 get out very cleanly. Zeus doesn't even have to ult there. And it looked like maybe T1 wanted the turn, but they realized with the Keeper's Verdict, if the Keeper's Verdict doesn't hit Peanut, you know, they probably do have to force the fight, but it does connect, and that's just the secure to come through. As in a choke point like this, True Shot Barrage, you know, Zeka on the Oner, these tools are going to be incredible. Keria kind of trying to zone here with his ultimate, but with no jungler, it's just an easy smite, unfortunately, for the side of Hanwha Life, and not enough follow-up to punish. No True Shot Barrage, they already used it. T1 get out with those empowered recalls, and now they're back in control of the game.
Yep, they absolutely are. And Keria, ooh, that's half his health gone. Not going to be enjoying that all too much. But let's see how much value T1 can get out of this push as well, because for right now, they're just kind of barreling into the Hanwha Life Esports jungle, not really finding too much, not able to get much vision either.
Yeah, and I mean, they need this Infernal Soul. I mean, that's such a huge win for them if they can pick it up. It's going to mean this Kai'Sa poke is so much stronger. It's going to mean the Tristana and the Kennen value in a team fight is just, I mean, it's explosive what you could do with this composition. They're losing control quick.
And look at this. Now pressure on Aguma. True Shot Barrage available, and oh, this shield comes in just barely to save him. You see Viper nearly dealing double the damage of the next person, which is Faker, as he has crested 30K at 28 minutes.
Viper is just, he's in Ezreal mode today, and he is going to get it done. Timing of that True Shot is fantastic. The shield does deny the kill, but I mean, this is T1's Baron, and they're getting pushed in hard on mid. There's still a minute 45 left on this Dragon, so T1 could try to find some value elsewhere. That inner turret top lane and the inner turret bottom lane are up, but they just don't have enough control to actually try to force this.
Yeah.
Keria setting up some deep vision here.
I think the issue with this power play is that, you know, right before they got the Baron, they were actually being pushed off the map by Hanwha Life Esports, and they got the one pick and the Baron, but they immediately had to back because they were all low, so they had to fix the entire map before they got any push going, which means, well, they've just kind of spent most of the Baron buff fixing the entire map and not pushing much.
That ward that Keria put down also ended up getting either cleared or replaced. Could have been maybe an angle for Zeus' teleport. And once that one is back up, cannon teleport flanks always something you have to consider. Does have the rocket belt, can close that gap very quickly, and then boom, you win a team fight instantly off of the flank. Especially if Hanwha Life Esports are kind of tunneling elsewhere, trying to punish. As once again, they get control here of the choke point. Hanwha Life, full prio Faker on the edge here, not actually able to come through and enter this pit. Zeus without teleport means he cannot utilize any flank wards. He doesn't even have any to speak of anyways, even if he did have the TP. And Hanwha Life just sitting patiently here, waiting to punish a mistake from T1. Level 16 for Zeus. This is a very, very knife's edge fight that we're setting up here in neutral.
Let's see, I mean, Peanut a little bit caught up, and now it's actually Zeka on the left. Also, Peanut getting pretty low. Doran weaving around his stick, but it's not going to be able to do enough. The counter-strike doesn't even go off, and the Temper Fate not going to help him either. Keria with the knock-up here. Excellent timing. That's going to be the end of 3 members of Hanwha Life Esports, you would imagine, but Doran will flash, but it does mean that T1 get Infernal Soul.
Infernal Soul going to go the way of T1. Lot of fight over prio there, but it's engaged from Keria. The setup was really clean, and Peanut just way too far forward there is chunked down, and Viper's not able to offer back the same damage. And now, speaking of damage, with this Infernal Soul, this turret's not long for this world. TP coming through.
Oh man, they're still trying to make something happen here. Viper and Zeka, they're just on something today. You expected out of Zeka on the Oner, but as you mentioned, Viper's just in Ezreal mode.
Well, unfortunately, they get nothing, and that means a free push here bottom side. No flash for Dorman. He couldn't flash for the counter-strike, so they just back up mid, push down bottom. They grab that turret, and T1 in full control of the map right now. Hanwha, they have these Tempered Fates have been so good at maybe, you know, I wouldn't say engaging, but kind of splitting T1 up, messing with their formation. It's been really impactful. Delight has had a fantastic Bard game. When you add this Infernal Soul on top of the map control T1 already had, they get the free backs. It's pretty rough as Zeka is the one who's caught here, stunned by Zeus, just a normal cannon stun here, and then Peanut way out in no man's land as the team is just completely split by not even like a normal flank on the cannon. He just walked down mid. He's got the angle there. He punishes the rebind of the soul, and the Tempered Fate works against Doran. Unfortunately, nothing he can do there. Now there's that Tempered Fate.
Yeah, speaking of which, but that is a Poppy, as now Faker gonna hop in. He's gonna flash this time, as he will not do that again. But the stun comes in, and a bit of damage now in the lineup from Zeka, and the follow-up from Doran. It is huge here for the side of Hololive Esports. T1 in a lot of trouble. The flashes come in. Zeus will go down, and Hololive Esports pick off 3, and they're looking for more. The magical journey on in. They get Keria, and Guma as well being chased down here. And they're looking at, okay, are they actually going to do this? Here comes Viper. Oh, man. Getting pretty frisky with it, but not going to commit, and now the push commences.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the flash going and he's got the blast going, but he's not able to get Guma there. But even still, just a Kaisa for the defense.
Some low health bars, or rather, long death timers here.
I mean, I think they just push for this one.
It might just end.
I think so.
This might just be the end of the game. Infernal Soul be damned. Guma desperate. He needs to buy time, but he's nowhere near the wave, and the Tempered Fate is going to get a lot of people here, and they're even going to kill him. Hololive Esports, they win one team fight, one pick onto Faker, and that is it. They will win the series.
Delight.